Travelers, Prinston coming to you from the Cineverse. Today I want to talk about conflicting ideas. Because a lot of people, they think of themselves as independent thinkers. They have their own independent judgment. But the first time they get a conflicting idea or some concept that contradicts what they think, they completely run away from it. I know you've been around people, you say something, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear anything you're saying. I don't want to hear that. Go somewhere else with that. And why does this happen? Why don't they want their ideas tested? Because of course you could look at this as a negative thing, that somebody's challenging the way you believe. They're challenging your reality. Everything around you that you believe, that you come to hold dear, is being challenged. Of course, that can be a bit shocking. That can be a bit off-putting. But instead of taking that opportunity and looking at it as something that I can say, well, you know what? I'm going to look at that opportunity, I'm going to look at that situation as a way to maybe strengthen my ideas, strengthen the way I think about things. So it got me to thinking about, why do people do this, and why do we actually need conflicting ideas? Now, we need conflicting ideas because this is how we form a clearer picture of reality. Now, reality, when I talk about reality, I don't think you'll ever get to a point where you have the complete, clear sense of reality. But of course, through experience, through practical application, through all the things you go through in life, you build a foundation of experiences or way you kind of perceive the world. And there's certain ideas that you've been given when you were younger. Since you've been a kid, somebody's been conditioning you to believe a certain set of belief systems. I was actually talking to somebody the other day and they said, since I was young, I've always been told to think like this. Or my parents always told me to think like this. My mother told me to think like this. My father told me to think like this. And then when you grow up, you sit there and you say, I have independent ideas. But you're scared to challenge the ideas from your youth. So you have to have some type of conflict with the original ideas in order to see what really resonates with you. Of course, I know you've probably read something, watched a video, been around somebody who speaks, went to some type of public speaking event, any of these things, and when the person was talking, for some reason, it just spoke to your soul. It resonated with you. So when you think of ideas when you're young, you may have an idea in your head or something that's been told to you when you were younger that you don't quite believe. But because of the person maybe that told you, the respect for some type of institution, the respect for some type of family member, you believe that idea and you never test that idea. Now, when you think about all the greatest ideas in history, all the things that are coming along that are shaking up the world, they were all conflicting ideas. They changed the way people think. There's so many examples that people defied odds because they were willing to go against other people's ideas. Because, of course, other people's ideas, they haven't taken time to really study where the ideas come from. Like I said, most people are just living off the ideas they got when they were younger, or the ideas that they see on television or that somebody else has gave them. So until we put our ideas through the crucible, until we test our ideas, it's impossible for us to get that clear sense of reality. Now, I'm not suggesting that every time somebody comes along with a new idea, or the new fad or some new way of thinking, that you immediately adopt that idea. Of course, I rarely change my ideas, but I like to have people around me with conflicting ideas so I can get a clearer picture of reality. So I can look at that idea and say, well, maybe it has some merit. And there's some things, just like when reading a book, a lot of times people read a book and it's something they don't agree with, or they won't read it because the ideas conflict something else they've read. But instead, looking at it like you're building a central way of thinking. It's almost like you're building a building and you're able to go read books, listen to people, listen to the people around you, and you're able to take pieces of each person's ideas that resonate with you. Of course, they have to resonate with you, and put those into a bigger structure of the way you think. Because anybody, even the most independent thinkers, are a collection of all the thoughts of the things that they've read, all the thoughts of the people around them, and all the things that really speak to them. So people feel like they may have a divine destiny. But even that is correlated to the things that you're going to pick up and you're going to use to explain that. And the ideas that come along and the ideas that you put out there, they're only as strong as the resistance they've been put against. So I always tell people you should be strong enough to listen to conflicting ideas and still form your own judgment on whether this is an idea that's good to keep or an idea that's good to let go. And even being able to let go of them, that's strong. That's independent thinking. If you've taken time to rationally think about, why do I believe this idea, and you're willing to let it go if it's not a good idea, That's an independent thinker. You thought about the reason. Think about what I'm saying. You thought about the reason why you no longer want to think that thought. Because a lot of times we keep ideas that don't support us. I'm pretty sure there's been a lot of times you can look at ideas that no longer are helpful to you, but you hold on to them. And why? Because you don't want your reality challenged. It's hard for us to challenge the ideas that we've been given. It's hard to challenge the ideas that maybe your mother, your grandmother, or somebody you really respect gave to you. And of course, like again, I'm not suggesting that you throw out everything that people around you have said, but any idea, why do you think it? Why is it helpful to you? If you're trying to build a certain type of lifestyle, if you're trying to get to a certain point in life that makes you happy, then why wouldn't you challenge the ideas that are keeping you from reaching that point? Maybe you'll look back and find that those ideas are necessary. And now that you've tested those ideas and you've seen that they still hold up against conflicting beliefs, now your belief becomes even stronger in the ideas. But the conflict is still necessary to strengthen those ideas. So I just wanted to talk about that and think about it. Think about why we need to have these conflicting ideas to get that clear picture of reality. Because if you're not forming a clear picture of reality, you're going to fall behind. You're going to become a dinosaur when it comes to business. Because every idea, every thought, the most craziest things in the world, going all the way back to when people thought the world was flat, and things that really seem outrageous, or seem not outrageous, but seem normal right now. They were outrageous at one time. All these ideas that you take for granted that you say, well, that's just something people have always thought. They were once outrageous. And there was conflict that needed to happen in order to create those ideas. So instead of looking at every idea in a bland way, think about how you can create the conflict and challenge your ideas to get a clear picture of reality. Like and subscribe for more. See you next time.